Hello, everybody, and my name is Markiplier, and welcome back to Bloody Cosmic Horror Beyond Human Comprehension. Okay, so me and Clay, who's currently at work, he's not able to be here in the video, but Clay and I over the weekend had the pleasure of watching Iron Lung. And as you could probably guess from me saying the pleasure of watching it, I did enjoy the film. The number one thing I should say before anything further is going over my familiarity with Iron Lung, the game, and with Markiplier, the creator. So when it comes to Iron Lung, I have not played the game. I have not watched any Let's Plays of the game. Like, I haven't seen Mark's Let's Play. I was aware of some of the basic premises, which are you are a convict, and you're in this, like, iron submersible. And that's kind of it. Like, anything regarding, like, what you're looking for, I didn't know. I don't even think I knew about the camera aspect. Maybe I did. All I really knew is convict, this is how you're serving your sentence, and there's a lot of blood involved. And my familiarity with Markiplier more or less ends with watching him play the FNAF games. I've probably seen a few others. Like, I want to say I watched him play Eve. I know I watched him play Inside. And I've seen, I think, like, a few of his other, like, videos or charity work here and there. But my general vibe from Markiplier is I just kind of like this dude. Because there was this one video I watched. It was like a Markiplier responds to Google search items, YouTube, like, it was something along those lines. It was like on BuzzFeed or some shit. And there was this one where he was talking about, I don't even remember exactly. This was a long time ago that I watched it. But I think he was talking about an interaction with, like, a fan, or, like, with a fan who had some kind of terminal disease. And I remember just, like, the look on his face and, like, the tone in his voice. And I thought to myself, this is someone who really cares about other people. And I've never met the guy, but that's kind of the vibe that I get from him. Is like, he's someone with a lot of passion, and you definitely see it in this project, but he's also someone with a lot of compassion and, like, with a lot of empathy. And it's something where I'm like, I really want to just see this dude succeed, because he just seems like he's a good dude. But it's not something I wanted to color my perception of the film. It's like, look, I want him to do well. I want the film to be good. But if I don't like it, I don't like it. And if I do like it, all the better for it. And while I will say that I did enjoy it, there are some aspects of the movie that I'm not as, like, about, I suppose. Number one is, I think, just, at least for me, the film took a while for me to get into it. Like, it is a film that is very slow. It is very, like, slowly, deliberately paced. And I don't mind that. I do think it gets more interesting as it goes along. I feel like, as a whole, the film kind of gets better as it goes along. But I think the big problem for me is that this is a movie that is all about its atmosphere. And for the most part, does a very good job of that. And is about building that sense of dread and that sense of isolation. And for a decent chunk of the film, I want to say at least, like, 20 minutes, maybe longer, I'm not sure, I didn't really feel that. And so, without going super deep into spoilers, like, it starts with him in the submersible, I guess, in the Iron Lung, doing, like, going to different places, marking stuff off the map, hitting the camera, getting the pictures, and he's talking to people on the intercom. And this is the part in the movie where I'm like, we're kind of building something. This is kind of neat. I'm not super feeling it yet. And I think a big part of it is whenever he's talking to someone on the intercom, at least, like, when he's talking to his mission control on the intercom, I don't feel the isolation. Yes, like, he is separate from them, and it feels like there's a very big power disparity. But he still has people he's talking to that are trying to help him, even if they can be a bit hostile or not as helpful as they should be. I'm not feeling that, like, oh, there is this impending sense of dread, I'm fucked. Then he goes back up. Again, this is pretty early on in the film, so I don't feel like I'm spoiling a whole lot. He goes back up, talks to them for a bit, has to go back down, and there's a point where he loses contact. And I think for me, that's when I started getting really invested, because that's when, with some of the stuff he's seeing on the camera and things that he saw earlier on the camera that aren't there anymore, that's when I started really feeling that sense of dread, that sense of isolation. The atmosphere was really working, the vibe was really working, and from that point on, where it's like, okay, I'm in. But it takes a while to get there. Another issue is with the dialogue itself. Not that it's bad, because I couldn't tell, because it's really hard to hear. Like, I think the sound design is really good. Like, anytime the iron lung starts moving, you just hear this, like, chunk, chunk, chunk. Like, the way it, like, chugs and kathunks, I kind of love it. Or whenever he's using the camera, or, like, using the light, like, it's this, like, really repeated, no, I don't think I'm saying it right. But I liked the sound of it. There's this one shot where, because, like, he has to keep hitting the light and it doesn't last for super long, so he tries to just, like, tape it down, and you just hear, like, the tape peeling off, and then you get a shot later of all of this tape just on the ground, like, just implying all the times he's tried to fix this and it doesn't work. And yeah, despite the fact that 90% of the movie takes place just in, probably way more than that, the vast majority of the movie is in the iron lung. The only times it's not are essentially like when he's at the surface in that early scene, and while he's still in the iron lung, you do see some people outside of it, and like one dream sequence. Everything else is within the iron lung or like looking through the camera. There is a good amount of shot variety, and the one that I love and hate is there's a point where, like, there's a crawl space and he has to enter the crawl space. Like, they made this as claustrophobic as possible. This is great. I hate it, but it's great. So there was that. Sorry, but I was trying to say, like, the things I don't like, for me, it really genuinely was, like, the first chunk of the movie where I wasn't getting into it, and the dialogue is very hard to hear. There's a point later on in the movie where he gets contact back, without going super deep into spoilers, which I will in a second. And I was like, I feel like there's a chance it's supposed to be like that, where you're not... Let me try this again. Another thing I like about the movie, because I think this is a good segue into my issue with the dialogue, is I don't know how much of the movie is real and how much of it is just in Simon's head. And there's a lot of aspects, like, there's points where I was like, I feel like I'm kind of watching Perfect Blue or something similar, because I could see this as a real thing that he is seeing, a real thing that he is hearing, or he's going crazy. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It could be oxygen deprivation, because his oxygen levels are depleting. It could be because he's bounced around on this thing a lot and maybe he actually does have a concussion. It could be because he's so lonely at this point, he is starting to hallucinate things. It also could be because every time he's using the camera, he's being exposed to radiation. So it might be like radiation sickness slowly seeping in. I don't know. There's a lot of arguments that none of this is real, and possibly the reason the dialogue can be like so quiet and so hard to hear is it's trying to have this very like dream-like vibe to it, where, you don't remember everything in a dream when you wake up. It's hard to tell what's going on because it's not really happening. Alternatively, it's just the dialogue is really quiet and this is all real, this is all happening. Oops, you just kind of got to watch the movie with subtitles. So, I think with that being said, I will now move on to spoilers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, spoilers live. So, because there was a lot I couldn't hear, I'm not going to lie, afterwards, I had to just kind of look it up, like, on Wikipedia and TV tropes, like, alright, what actually happened in the movie? So, my understanding, from what I was able to hear and what I was able to read, is that the backstory is deliberately kind of vague. From what I understand, the game is like that too. But essentially, a lot of like stars and or planets died. A lot of life on them died. Simon is someone who, my vibe is that he was part of a cult. And there's a point later on in the film where you hear him giving a speech, so it's possible he was actually like one of the leaders of the cult. And either he's lying about not being responsible for this one station exploding, or he had a change of heart but wasn't able to save people in time. But a lot of people died. He is blamed for this. He is a convict, and he is serving his sentence by being in this iron lung, exploring this sea of blood on this unknown star. Or planet. I think it's a star. Unbeknownst to like everybody, this sea of blood is a living sentient being that assimilates anything or anyone that comes into it. So the reason the oxygen levels on his ship, like, they get low, but he's not, dying of oxygen deprivation, and he hasn't suffocated yet, is because the ship itself becomes alive. Excuse me. So when you see, like, the blood coming down, that's either blood seeping through the holes in the hull, or it's the iron lung itself is bleeding. This isn't just condensation, is the iron lung itself is sweating because it's now a living being. And there was a ship, the SM-8, I believe the lung is the SM-13, like the SM-12, could be wrong with that, but the SM-8 was a ship of scientists and researchers, and they went into the ocean of blood, and they were learning stuff, and they learned, like, oh, like, this blood, you can use it, like, to make food and to make water or whatever. Also, it will, like, possess you and drive you nuts, and they weren't able to recover the ship. But Simon finds the ship, he is able to connect to the ship's black box, and he makes a deal with the people up top, like, okay, if I can get to the black box, you will let me out, like, you will save me, you will get me out of here, and I will be free. And my favorite part of the movie is when he's talking to someone else who's in the sea of blood, and he genuinely doesn't know if this is someone he's hallucinated or not. And I haven't really talked about Mark's acting throughout the movie. I think, like most of the movie, I think it just gets better as it goes along, and I feel like you're getting more into the atmosphere, and he's getting more into the role. This, I think, is probably the best acting he does in the film, where he's just talking, and like you can feel like he's excited to talk to another person, and then as it goes on, he's like, I don't know if I want to talk to you anymore. I don't know if I want to talk to you anymore. And then just, you're not real. And I'm talking, and I'm using the last bits of oxygen that I have, talking to someone who's not there, but I can't stop, because even if you're not real, I kind of need this in my last few moments. And it's like really good. But as you later find out, I think, that person is just like the blood ocean talking to him, because he and the lung are being assimilated, so it like knows who he is and has read his mind and his memories, or it's gotten some of that information from other people. Like, there's this cool dream sequence where I'm like, I think a lot of those 80 gallons of blood went into this, and it looks cool. But by the end of the film, he essentially is given a choice to be, like, fully assimilate, part of the crew, part of the ship, in terms of just, like, assimilation, but also by the end, like, he looks like a member of Davy Jones's crew. Like, there's this cool scene where, like, his hands are stuck to the ship, and he, like, rips them off, and, one of his arms make it, the other one doesn't. Like, oh, that's cool. There's a scene where he's notices that, like, his bandages are, like, bleeding pretty hard, and then he's, like, peeling them off, and you see, like, the radiation sickness on his skin, like, the radiation burns. Like, it's gross, it's nasty, it's awesome. Excuse me. But essentially, he has kind of a decision to make. Like, he gets the black box from the SMA. It's like, I can essentially use this. I can't even bargain for my freedom anymore, because this blood sea is not going to let me go. I can either die and, like, kind of become part of it, and live on in a sense, or I can die and accept my fate, but make sure that this thing gets saved. He has a little life jacket. And hopefully save future generations, because they will know, avoid this place at all fucking costs. Ultimately, that is what he decides. Simon dies, but, you know, you see the thing floating at the top of the blood ocean, which kind of made me think, though, I'm like, I mean, it's still, like, technically in the blood ocean, so can it just, like, get assimilated? So this might not have worked out. I don't know, but here, I wrote some notes. I just want to see, did I kind of hit everything I wanted to say? I think I did. Yeah, like, honestly, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. But just overall, I enjoyed the film. I'm glad I saw. I will say it was a packed theater. We went, I think it was Saturday night at 7 o'clock. I was just like, hey, I don't know, you want to go watch Iron Lung in like an hour and a half? He's like, sure, let's go. And when we got there was, I think, 4 seats left. I was like, all right, let's go. The theater, I think, seemed to get into it. I don't think I heard a whole lot of reactions, but as a whole, I don't think this is a movie that's really like a, yeah, you react to it. It is, again, more just kind of about those vibes of dread and isolation, which aren't happy, but are nonetheless interesting. So I enjoyed the movie. Just mad props to Mark for, like, he wrote it, directed it, starred in it, produced it, edited it, marketed it, all of that stuff, and I think it was genuinely good. I'm really glad I saw it. I'll be honest, like, I'm looking forward to whatever his next project is. Good shit.